All right, I wanted to bring some sunshine to the room. So who's suing whom? Yeah, is this exciting stuff? Yeah. So if you follow news at all, this is in the world of real estate, and I'm kind of a nerd this way. CoStar suing Zillow regarding copyrights. Compass and Anywhere are suing Zillow regarding private listings. Anyway, we're not going to go into the details of this stuff. It's out there. Photo copyrights, just by way of information. If you take a listing and let's say it was previously listed and you take all the pictures off the multiple listing service, guess what? You're going to have $1,000 fine because they're copyrighted. Thou shalt not use somebody else's photos. I know it's crazy. You do your own work. Yes, Dennis. In all the states? No. It is obviously the principle is true. Don't use somebody else's work. If you've ever used a Getty image on your website, that gets exciting. I'm just saying. Anyway, so just watch out for copyright use. Compass and Anywhere suing Zillow regarding private listings. Zillow's made a decision as a brokerage to say we're not going to put on our website somebody who has a private listing. They've marketed their property offsite, and now they want to bring it into the MLS. Zillow just made a decision. That's a business decision, but these guys are saying you're hurting our business because that's our business model. I guess I'm being logical. Yeah, Rob.
Go through and actually change things enough where it's not copyrighted.
Um, I'm not even going to go there. All right. FTC is suing Zillow and Redfin regarding rental listings. That's just a fun one. Although, because the government shut down, they shut down the suit for right now. It's put on pause. It's kind of fun. Batten seeking class action regarding buyers. They think it'll be $1 billion lawsuit, very similar to the Moral one that came out, where their sellers were suing. So we'll see where this one goes. It'll be fun, but they're seeking class action on it. Is that Atlanta? I can't remember for sure. Peter, do you remember? Anyway, it'll be a fun one because guess what? They've already bled the cow dry. Anyway, all kinds of seller settlements. Again, these are the ends of Moral. There's one in Massachusetts, and there's another one in Atlanta. Those are all settling now, where they're going after particular brokerages. KW was part of the one in Kansas, and they were part of the Moral one. And what was the one in Kansas? All of a sudden left my head. Anyway, let's do the right thing, and you most likely will not get sued. Anyway, I'm totally teasing. Yeah, Bill. Yeah, regarding photos.
This happened to me once where I took a listing and this happened once where I took a listing and they said, I've got these pictures. They were on the MLS, but the owner gave the pictures to the realtor that listed the property. Are you telling me that MLS has rights to those pictures?
They do because it's on their website. You know, when you go to any MLS listing, they put a watermark on those once they come in. You put it into that ecosystem. So
Once that gives those pictures back to me to relist the property, they don't have the watermark and I'm good?
yeah, I would make sure this is, and photos are funny. Talk to your photographers. Most photographers aren't going to squawk about it. I've had several that'll tell me, if it's been on a new listing, I want to get paid for those. And so, no, I hold those photographers hold the copyrights. In this case, that we're talking about here, CoStar is suing Zillow. They've watermarked them. Some of those photos have actually clipped out the watermarks, or they've cut the pictures down so that the watermarks are gone, but it's literally the same picture. That's problematic. So even if AI cuts it out, Rob, doesn't matter. It's not a new photo just because you made it new. Anyway, the real reason why we're here, and I'm excited to introduce Peter Christensen. He is the CEO, big kahuna at the Utah Central Association of Realtors. Peter, come on up. Thing I love about Peter is he is an attorney. He speaks English, and former chief legal counsel at UAR, And oh, Dan came too, Mr. President. We're excited to have Peter here, and he's going to share with us. I called it the state of real estate. He's going to do whatever he wants. And so, do you want to change to his slides, hit escape, and yeah,
He did not ask me for a headshot.
I think that this came from your LinkedIn, high school grad. Yeah. Anyway, go for it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for having me. I really wasn't sure what to expect before this morning. Dean asked if I'd come, and in the past I've come and given a little update, and it was like 5-10 minutes. And then this morning I said, "What do you want me to cover?" And he sent me that he like had a headshot of me and everything. I was like, "Whoa, this is a bigger deal this time than it has been." But I'm gonna get a big head over this. Thanks for letting me be here. It's always good to get out and chat with the membership and kind of get to interact. If you have questions, please interrupt me, let me know. I'm gonna go through a few things here, but and then tell you what's on my mind. My staff told me, "Oh, you can fill 30 minutes, no problem." I said, if I get to just talk about whatever's on my mind that day, then no problem. But if they want to talk real estate, I'm gonna have to think a little there. I've been at UCAR now for, I think it's almost to the day. I can't remember what day it was. I saw it 10 years. Can you believe that? 10 years. And I was with the UAR before that for 8.5 years. I had an attorney asked me recently, we were trying to figure out, he's like, "Oh, you just charge your hourly billable rate." And I said, "I've been an attorney for 18 years and I've never had an hourly billable rate because I've always been with the realtors in-house. So I don't even know what that is." Okay. I really, when Dean said, give us a 30,000-foot view, I thought, I'll do that. I like to talk about, I think it's important in our world today where things are going to really think about what is an association. Like, what is the Realtor Association? Why do we have it? So I want to talk a little bit. I'm going to start before we get into some of these stats. I want to talk about what it is that a Realtor Association does. I mean, what's the purpose of it? It's a collective of different brokerages with different models, different practices, different goals, who saw the benefit in having a commonality. So they formed an association to benefit all, right? We're doing things separately. We're all trying to do the same thing and helping sell real estate, but we're going about it different ways, and it's not all jiving well together. And so as a collective, we can get certain things. Like, there's certain lanes that are for brokerages, certain lanes that are for agents, and there's certain lanes where cooperating really makes a lot of sense and gets us a lot farther when we do it together. And that's really the role of the Realtor Association. And so we're made up of our members, and we have leadership elected from our members, and then we have a paid staff that carry out and execute the mission of the association. And we've got your president this year, Dan, back there. So Dan brings his experience from his time here, and he brings that knowledge. And so I've never been a real estate agent, right? Been an attorney for 18 years. Started with the realtors right out of law school, but I've never sold. I've never helped somebody sell a piece of real estate. So we have awesome input from the Dan Kennedys of the world and then others from other brokerages with differing backgrounds, differing perspectives, and they collectively give their opinions, and we work for a common good. So what are some things? Well, the MLS. The MLS was started by realtors. At one point, UCAR had their own, Salt Lake had their own, everybody had their own. And then they said, hey, it makes a lot of sense. These borders are small. We keep crossing them. Makes a lot of sense to join forces. And so we came up with utahrealestate.com. And how does that work? Well, it's owned by UCAR, the Salt Lake Board, and the Northern Wasatch Board. And we have directors. You guys knew one of them. Dean here was a director for years, 9 years. And we get 2 directors. There are only 6. And they help shape and form the MLS. I don't know if you've practiced in other states, but there is not a more responsive MLS, especially at this caliber and level. It's an amazing MLS. And now it's being mimicked and actually being licensed all around the country, the products coming out of our MLS. Well, that was built, founded, supported by realtors, right? In a collective. So it's such an awesome way to get the homes out there. But that's a product of the Realtor Association, that mentality of cooperating for a common good. The Code of Ethics. Sometimes, it's a class you just have to sleep through to get your credit. You guys just did it, so you're good for 3 years, right? You had to do it by January. But really, what does that do? It's a code of conduct. Now we've seen through the years the proliferation of licensing divisions. But do you realize how much they patterned themselves after our code of ethics? And we do have those rules now, but for a long time, the code of ethics was the standard, the code of conduct. And it still handles a lot of what the state can't handle. And what does it do? I mean, you take it for granted, probably don't think about it every day, but if you really dig down, it creates a predictable set of standards and rules that you operate in. And I hear about it when you see someone who's not following the rules. It's very upsetting, right? But the way we do it, the way we can understand how the other side's going to react, what the appropriate system will be, is because we've set a standard. We've built it through 100 years. And that, again, came from the Realtor Association building a standard, saying if we can all work in the same way and agree to a standard, then it will help us all prosper. Keys. So at some point, can you imagine if every brokerage went and contracted for their own key system, and you'd have to go figure out what that brokerage was doing for keys, what that one was. I mean, I guess we go back to the combo codes, the contractor boxes, those are safe. And we have amazing products. Like, first of all, Supra was founded by realtors. Realtors made it, but we also contract again. And so our association, the Salt Lake Board and Northern Wasatch, we decided a couple of years ago, it made sense to join a joint agreement. We had a lot more power that way and more leverage with Supra. Plus, our memberships cross over so much that we said, this makes a lot of sense, cooperating for the good of all. So you can go anywhere, except Park City, I guess, anywhere in the state and show properties with your same key. And how cool is that, right? There's not this, we're going to be territorial, cut everyone out, but then make it hard for our own people to work. No, we've opened it up, said this is for everyone's benefit if we can show properties all over.
St. George, they have a second MLS down there.
Yes, they do.
They don't always share listings on both of them. Does the keys actually work on their missions?
They do. You do need to ask them to co-op it. They've waived the fee. So did you guys know that? You don't get charged anymore. Yeah, that was a negotiation. That was a series of conversations with the Washington County Board. But Emily down there was great and said, yeah, it's really to everyone's benefit if we just cooperate. But yes, they do. They do have to push yes. And Emily gets a lot of phone calls over weekends over it. And we told her you can just open it up and co-op it for indefinitely, but they still wanted a little control. But yes, they do work. Okay. Forms. You realize 90% of the forms you use are realtor owned and created forms. And then the others you use at the state were written by the realtors for the state. We're actually revamping the REPSI right now. And the idea of every brokerage contracting to have attorneys write their own forms. Can you imagine every deal you got had a different set of forms and you're trying to figure out, oh, whose addendum was that? I haven't seen that one in a long time. Did it change? Did it not? I've had no training on it. We would really probably have to revert to what so a lot of states back east do and have an attorney involved, right? To oversee the contract. But because we cooperate and have decided as a collective to build those forms, it benefits all. You get trained on those. You understand them. They're uniform. How does that work? Well, we have a forms committee and we have a bunch of people like me, a bunch of attorneys on there, but we also have a bunch of brokers and agents, and they come from big brokerages, small brokerages, big markets, small markets, and it is awesome. I'll tell you, I've been on that for 18 years. I've been on the forums committee, and it's so fun. I don't think of myself as super boring, and I come from a family of artists. I was the black sheep because I went to law school, and when I tell people I love contracts and love the forums committee, they're like, oh boy. But it's so fun. It's so creative. You have a problem you're trying to solve, and you have to use language to solve that problem. And it's so cool. But the attorneys will come up with some brilliant idea. This really legally makes sense. And then the agents on the committee will tell us that is impossible to implement practically. And so it's such a cool balance. And then one of the agents will throw out this idea and will say, you'll get sued and go to jail if we put that in the case. So it's such a nice balance. But again, the collective, and what I've seen there is probably the model of cooperation, because you have people from very sophisticated brokerages with their own legal counsel who are willing to share their ideas. Not this mentality of, well, we have an edge on everybody else because we have the means to have an in-house attorney. No, they say, listen, this makes it easier for us to do deals if everybody can do it this way. So we'll share our experience, our knowledge, and what a cool product. I think we have amazing forums. Not to toot our own horn, but in the settlement, the lawsuit, you remember that? Joking. They named Utah as one of like a couple states that actually had their stuff together with their forms. And they pointed to multiple of our forms as like, yeah, look at how Utah's doing it. This is how the rest of the country should be doing it. And they actually kind of used that in their lawsuit. So awesome. Then the one I think gets overlooked, those who know and are kind of passionate about it, but most of our membership takes it for granted, and it's probably our fault. We don't do a good enough job of telling you about it. That's the lobbying. So you think about, you need to move the needle. You need to attack a bad idea at the legislature. Well, how many agents do you have, Dean? 300. Okay. So you go, you hire a lobbyist, not cheap. You hire a lobbyist. You send the lobbyist up there who says, I represent 300 Utahns and in the real estate business, and we want you to do this way. Then Coldwell Banker down the road says, we represent 250, and we have a slightly different version of what we want you to do. And then you got the mom and pop. We represent 8, and we want you to do this. And you're all spending money and time and effort. 300, maybe they listen to you a little, but instead, we have a lobby, and we send them up there and say, we represent 12,000 realtors and 90% of the licensees in the state of Utah. And here's what we would like to see happen. Carries a lot of weight, right? A lot of power. Not to mention that then we fundraise, right? You hear us talk about RPAC. That's what it does. We don't spend our regular dues dollars on that. We do the voluntary funds, the voluntary donations through RPAC. That's what we use. So we support, we help campaigns to get good people in. And then we go fight bad ideas and go push for good ideas. And the effect that has on you, I could go for an hour and a half just talking about that. But things like, I'll give you a couple examples. There was a proposal that would have all of you plugging up fireplaces as listing agents to make, if they weren't EPA compliant, currently EPA compliant, they were going to, this was an actual bill proposed, to make you guys responsible. Why? Because they look and they say, well, these are bad. Or it's an inversion day. It's kind of, it's, I guess it's good and bad. We have the legislative session in the dead of winter, because every time it's an inversion year where you get 3 or 4 or 5 days straight of inversion, then everyone's talking about air quality and they want to tell us we can't drive cars and do this and that. And it's all well-meaning, right? Oh, fireplaces, that really hurts on an inversion day. Well, we can't really just tell a seller, we don't have the mechanism to tell a seller that they can't have a fireplace. Who could we force? Well, realtors have a license. Real estate agents have a license. We can put rules that affect their license. So we're going to say you are responsible, because we don't really have a way to go after a buyer or seller. So we're going to say you're responsible. And that was proposed. And we went and lobbied and said, does this make any sense at all? These people aren't experts. They don't have control of the home. They're not experts on air quality and EPA compliance. We don't want to burden them with that. Is there something we can do elsewhere that helps? You're only going to affect 2% of the homes in any given year with this legislation. Stuff like that. Mandatory, you name it. Meth, mold, radon, asbestos, lead-based paint. All those have been proposed as mandatory testing every, 60 days as you have a property listed. You have to retest and provide those. And again, radon's bad. We have high rates of radon in Utah. Let's save everyone. So that was proposed. Good meaning, but we went to them and said, what are you trying to accomplish? Well, we're worried people don't know about radon. Do you really think this is the best way? 2% of the homes are going to turn over in any given year. And you're going to force them to keep retesting and testing. You're going to add costs. And so instead, we went and got them money to do a radon awareness campaign. And help solve the problem, right? But in a way that doesn't hurt you. Transfer taxes. Taxes on your commissions. Those are all things that have been proposed and things we've lobbied against. So it'd be interesting to see what a transaction would be like without that lobbying power. But that's a big loss if we lose that spirit of cooperation. How does it work? Well, we have a ledge committee that is made up of realtors, and they go up and meet. We have a government affairs committee locally made up of realtors. We just did our candidate interviews. So trying to find good candidates for our local municipalities who will put good plans in place, support good building practices and development practices, support home ownership, all those things. And it's made up of realtors. So again, people from different brokerages, different mindsets, different markets coming together and voting and talking about their ideas, giving the lobbyists their direction. Okay, so that's a little like what is the Realtor Association? What do we do? That's why we exist, is to try to help the collective and help you succeed in ways that make sense. All right, so let's talk about UCAR itself. All right, this was as of like a month ago. 3,355 agents at UCAR. 393 of those are in our chapters. So about 3,000 here in Utah Valley. And then there's the breakdown of where they are. Those have grown, by the way, the chapters. Carbon Emery used to have like 32 members. I was kind of surprised to see they're up to 60. And then affiliates, 222. We love our affiliates. I think having served at the state level, I think our board has the best affiliate relationship, and we love what they do for the industry and for us. So we're very grateful for how active they are in our membership. Okay, total number of brokers at UCAR, 434 brokers. All right. Ooh, I brought some prizes. Those are principal brokers, I believe. Okay, let's start. Oh, you may have seen Dan Kennedy rocking one of these, the purple UCAR shirt. It's awesome. Okay, how many one-person brokerages? I don't know how many. Number in Utah, in UCAR. 97, 122.
250, about 450.
20, you said? All right. 101, you were closest. Hope you know someone in that size. I don't even know what size it is, but 101. So, yeah, about a third, right? Close to are single solos. Okay. Okay, so let's talk production. All right, what do we got? Let's go with, ooh, I don't know if I have enough questions for the swag I brought, but we'll make it. Ooh. Yeah, the Cotopaxi fanny pack. All right, how many agents did 0 deals last year? So 2024 total. 198. 300. How what? 500. Okay. 1104. Who is closest? 1200. All right, she beat you by $1. This price is right. 3,300 is about a third. About a third of our agents did not close the deal in 2024. Okay. What's our, anybody want to guess our average? Here, let's do this. So, all right. This is for the green shoppers. This is a portable shopping bag from Cotopaxi. Okay. What's our average? The average deals closed per year per agent. 76. Ford. 32.7. All right. Somebody got it. I don't know if we have that on here. It's 5. Who said 5? Someone over there said first. 2 people said he said first. Oh, you can share. You can, trade it. Weeks. So 5 per agent per year. That's actually higher than I thought. Somebody's doing a lot of business and bringing that up. Okay. All right. The oldest agent, 89 years old. Youngest, 18. We have a couple 18-year-olds that are okay. Let's do we have any more? Let me see what we got left. This is the big one. The Weekender bag. Logoed. So we gotta figure out which one would be best. Okay, I know which one I'll do. Okay, oh, we're going backwards. Average age, 46. I don't know what I was expected on that one. 46. Does that feel right? I don't know. I thought it'd be a little younger than that, but 89-year-old. You don't retire, right? You just expire as a realtor. Okay. Average years in the business. Oh, this is the big one. This is for the weekender bag. Average years in the business for a UCAR member. Wait, what? I heard someone over here say 10. Who said 10? All right. Okay. 10. 10 years. Now you got to go somewhere for the weekend. 10 years is the average in business. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? 10 years. We're trying to pull, we haven't figured out how to get the statistic, how many drop out in the first 2 years, the first licensing cycle. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, did this one. 10. Oh, just did. I did have it set up as a drum roll. Longest 52 years. My neighbor. You know who my neighbor is, Dean? Jerry Loveland. Yeah, some of you guys will know Jerry. 52 years in the business. Newest, I think we've had someone join today. So newest. Average joining per month. Oh, sorry. Average number join. Oh, 46. That's wrong. That's wrong. She fixed it. It's 38. I don't know where she got 46. She fixed it, but she must have sent me the old version. So average joining is 38. Oh my gosh, she did. She sent me the old one because it still has males. She fixed that to be male agent. So it's actually it's 52% male, 48% female in our membership. So pretty close, pretty even. Okay. So let's talk about what the market is doing right now. You guys know a lot of what it's doing. New listings up, right? Up 16%. How about sales? Not up as much, but active daily listings is up 27%. So that's good. We had really low inventory for a couple years, but now we've got inventory that's sitting, and we'd like to see that moving. Homes under contract. So this is promising, right? We have a year-over-year increase of under contract. Unfortunately, we're seeing probably a record number go out of contract. And not totally sure what the reasoning behind that is. They think the rates are going to change before they close. I don't know. Sellers bailing. Interesting. So sold homes. What you like to see is kind of a pretty even split between or proportionate to how many new homes are going on the market and how many are selling. Because we know you get paid when a transaction happens, right? Not when a listing's taken, not when it goes under contract. And we're only up 2%. I mean, we are up, so that's good, but only 2%. And I think we'd all love to see that go a little bit higher. Okay. Average days on market. Also, things are slowing down a little. 62. Do you guys remember when it was? What was the low? 3? Yeah, in 2022, or I think it was 3 days on the market. 4 days was the average, and we're up to 62. So that's gone up. So things are sitting a little longer. Average sales price still going up. We are seeing though that for a minute we were at like 103% of list price were the sales, and now we're down in the 90s. So things are going on. Amber and I was talking about, right, going on and then having to drop them a little bit. Sellers got big eyes. They still have them, even though their homes are sitting on the market for a long time. Yeah.
Do you know how much of that is new homes that might be affecting that?
I don't have that broken down. Median sales price has gone down a little.
More multifamily.
Maybe multifamily. Yeah. I don't know if that was just single family. I'd have to ask where they got this. Okay. That's the end of my slides. So now I want to talk just for a minute. How much more time do I have? This is where 5 minutes? Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, the future. Dean, why don't you talk about what do you see in the future? Just quick, like we can't ignore AI. The question is, what will it replace, and ultimately, who will it replace? And probably a long ways from replacing going and visiting with people, but the back end stuff, it's the assistance, right? And in my world, if I were a law firm, a partner at a law firm where I hire 4 new first-year agents, attorneys, I'd probably hire 1 and have them train on AI because they can now do the menial stuff with the supervision. You still need supervision of a person, but they can do the work of 4 people. And so I think that's where we see it going. How that affects real estate, probably more the back end, right? On what you can do, setting appointments, responding to communication might be integrated. We need to support, to get our voters and your voters in our communities to support elected officials, planners that will support innovative building. The current single family sprawl has kind of hit its limit in Utah and in our valley. And we are seeing problems with it, and we're seeing prices be high because we don't have enough inventory. And there are awesome, innovative ideas out there. They are running into roadblocks at the local level. States getting it, states passing laws, but it all comes to a halt at the local level. And we've got to get them and support the leadership in our cities that can see there's a problem and we need to solve it. And we need to open it up, allow more innovative ideas in the building space. Lots of zoning issues. Yeah, they want to keep it antiquated, keep it to the quarter-acre lots, the minimum square footage homes, and not come in and the building materials. They're coming up with these modular homes that can save $100,000 on the building, $150,000. But it's a modular home. We don't let those in our city, and they're beautiful. They're amazing. Like they've come so far that they don't look like the 70s modular homes, but our thinking at our city level is so behind. We need to get people that get it. So support those people. Will we keep, so Dean pulled up all the lawsuits. Will we keep cooperating? We're seeing a trend. We're seeing mergers, acquisitions, lawsuits. You guys ever read Atlas Shrugged? It is frightening how close it is to what we're living right now. If you can't beat them through competition, regulate them out of existence. And we're seeing that mentality, and we're seeing kind of a regression to days where we're not going to cooperate. We're going to look more like commercial. We're going to keep our listings. Don't tell us we have to share our listings. And somehow they're using antitrust to do this, to make it more private, less transparent. But now there are companies moving towards trying to have their private listing pool and not share those. And if we end up with 5, 6 companies that do that, then we don't have this open system anymore. We go backwards. It's crazy that we're going backwards in the name of progress, right? And I'll tell you a quick story. I think that's a huge issue facing us. Will we be short-sighted and look for the short-term gain we think we're going to get by moving away from cooperation, or will we see that it's the cooperative nature over 150 years that has built this incredible real estate system that's really the envy of the world? So my brother-in-law worked for Keller Williams International. He was an attorney for Keller Williams International. And so he would do the franchising and the contracts and work with foreign states on putting together these deals. Well, he was dealing with a South American country and talking about how they didn't have any rules. They didn't have any common MLS, that anyone, and they didn't have an exclusive listing. And so anyone could list it. So you would have the same listing that was posted by 8 or 9 different brokerages. And they would do this over and over and over. And they had no incentive to pull it off when it sold because they didn't want to invest that much time into it. And so you never knew looking at one of those listings if that had sold 6 months ago, a year ago, because that brokerage, maybe some other brokers sold it and that brokerage didn't want to get back to cleaning it up. And they all look to the United States as the model, the envy of organized real estate sales. And yet we're eating ourselves from the inside, right? We're saying, oh, look, it costs too much. It's inefficient. It's just the greedy actors involved who are making too much money off this. And we're going backwards. We're taking real estate to where third world countries are having it. And it's mind-boggling to me. And I think every group that files one of these lawsuits has a motivation. Some of them, it's just money, the class action lawyers. Some of them have a policy in mind. And are we going to eat ourselves from within and regress and become like the dysfunctional systems worldwide? Or are we going to wake up and realize cooperation has built everything that we stand on, has provided this amazing platform for us? And I think that's really the future we're looking at. And it's happened so much faster than I think any of us thought it would come to this point where we're making really critical decisions for the future. It is. It is already. Yeah, you're seeing lots of lawsuits off that scarcity mindset. And yeah, it's very short-sighted. Okay, any other questions? I went over my 5. Oh, I know it's peeking out. I didn't mean to. I listen. I did not mean to display that. Don't want to offend. My father is an emeritus professor at BYU. I have 2 degrees from BYU. My parents started dating at BYU. I had no choice. I was serving an LDS mission, and my parents sent me one college application, and it was BYU. I remember thinking when I got home, what if I didn't want to go there? Like they literally sent me one that I filled out, and I'm like, okay. It was great, but go Cougars.
Thank you, Peter. All right. Hey, let's give Peter a hand. Thank you so much. And everybody, thanks for being here and enjoy lunch. Thanks.